question 10. Round 84,516 to the nearest 10, to the nearest 100 and to the nearest 1,000. Well, a huge tip coming up for this sort of question. I would actually write the original number above each answer box, and you'll see how I'm going to use that in a minute. Well, here we go. So to the nearest 10, that number 10 has 2 digits. So what you want to do is find the second digit in from the end, because that will be the tens digit. So the second digit in from the end is not the 6, it is not the 6, it is the 1. So we're going to circle that 1, and that is the tens digit. Okay? So what we're going to do then is we're going to decide, does that 1 stay as a 1, or does it round up to a 2? And we always use the next digit, which is the 6, which I'm currently underlining, to decide. So because this 6 is higher than 5, it rounds up. So that 6 makes the 1 round up to a 2. So the 1 rounds up to a 2. So the tens digit needs to round up to a 2. Now here comes the tricky bit. Any digits after the 1 that you've just rounded get replaced with zeros. So that 6 is going to get replaced with 0. But any digits before the 1 you've rounded are just going to stay as they are. So the 5 stays as a 5, the 4 stays as a 4, and the 8 stays as an 8. So to the nearest 10, your answer is 84,520. Now we're going to do exactly the same process to the nearest 100. So the nearest 100, well, 100 has 3 digits. So this time we need to find the third digit in and see what that is. So the third digit in is not the 6, it's not the 1, it's the 5. So the 5 is the third digit in, and that is the hundreds digit. So we need to ask ourselves, does it stay as a 5 or does it round up? And you look at the next digit, which is the 1. You always look at the next digit to the one that you're trying to round. So the 1 is lower than 5, so that makes the 5 stay as it is. So that 5 stays as it is because the next digit, the 1, is less than 5. And just as we did before, any digits after the 1 we've just rounded get changed to zeros. So the 1 gets changed to a 0, and the 6 gets changed to a 0. But any digits before the 1 we've just rounded stay as they are. So the 4 stays as a 4, and the 8 stays in 8. So our final answer is 84,500. Now we've got one more to do, this time to the nearest 1,000. Well, 1,000 has got 4 digits. So we need to find the fourth digit in. That's the one we're looking at. So the fourth digit in isn't the 6, it isn't the 1, it isn't the 5, it's this 4 here. So we are going to circle the 4, and we've got to decide, does it stay as a 4, or does it get rounded up to a 5? And we look at the next digit, which is a 5. Well, 5 or higher makes the digit before it round up. So that, because that's 5, we're going to round this 4 up to a 5. So the 4 gets rounded up to a 5 because the next number is a 5, and that's why it's rounding it up. And just as we did before, any digits after the one we just rounded are going to change to zeros. So the 5 changes to a 0, the 1 changes to a 0, the 6 changes to a 0, leaving us 5,000. And that makes sense if you think about it, because 4,516, because it's above 500, it is going to round up to 5,000. But any digits before the one we've just rounded need to stay as they are. So the 8 is going to stay as an 8, so it's going to be 85,000.